hasn't been faced with, and that is, what's a job worth? And I hear numbers all the way from 0 to $26,000.
I will resubmit my motion to table.
Resubmit it, you say? Second.
Motion by Mr. Robertson, second by Mr. Dahl. Motion to table's back.
To table.
Consideration.
Table the 8C item.
Until
It's
you have
called
a
off
development
the table.
agreement?
Yeah, until we have a development.
How much of this can be accomplished this week?
I don't know. We'll certainly, I mean, if you guys are willing to meet, we'll certainly do what we can.
Yeah. Dan, can you expedite an application? And
I received it today, so I'm sorry I haven't got it filled out yet. But now that I have it, we will fill it out. I have to be out of town tomorrow, as you were informed. That way I can't have negotiations until Wednesday with you, as you were informed. So, this is very important to us, and we are working on it. And we will do everything we can to do that.
well, maybe an example of the first timeline that, or the first date that might be hard to meet. But if we can could we have it ready to go by say next Monday?
I think there's going to be some, great issues because of the value of the job. Mr. Robertson doesn't think they're worth what the state of Minnesota thinks they're worth.
Well, if you were a non-profit, but you're a profit-making.
It doesn't matter. The state.
Well, it does to me.
Well, I hate to disappoint you. It doesn't matter to the state of Minnesota.
Okay.
Okay.
And they should pay it.
That's fine. If you take that attitude, the other states around here, they're actually worth $50,000.
Okay.
So, there's a wide range there, and we want to work with the city. That's why I started here. Okay. My goal is to bring jobs back here to replace PRW jobs.
Terry,
But
are you available
it's
Wednesday
kind of ugly from your side.
to?
I don't know if that's a real, I can certainly be available, but there's significant issues and information that needs to be submitted, and SEMDEC is your preliminary person that handles the pre-application, and they handle the application. Once that application is done, there's a process in your ordinances to go back to the EDA for approval, and can that all be done by Wednesday? I don't think it's reasonable to say that it can be, but certainly, I'm sure that all of the people that work for you will try to expedite things as much as they can.
Well, and even if it is, even if you had the agreement by Wednesday, you're still missing the other part of the tandem, that is finalization of the agreement that he has in phase 1 is just as important to this process. So it's not just the lease purchase agreement. There's activities on both sides of the ledger here that are going on, and that's why Dan is pressing very hard for that portion to get done. And I suppose he finds it a little difficult to, give this more time to this side of the equation. But that doesn't mean we can't make good progress. I think Terry's provided us some materials that we can work with, at least initially. But when it comes down to the end of the day, it's going to be a number that probably is the biggest source of disagreement, possibly, that some of you are going to have to negotiate and mediate out somewhere.
Point of order. Call the question.
All right, let's call the question. All in favor of tabling until we have a development agreement? Say aye.
Aye.
table until we get a development agreement. Mr. Chiglow, what will you need to help get this development agreement going?
Well, Semtech is the initial contact, and then we'll need figures from your financing estimates on what, you'll have your estimates for the cost of the building, but you'll also have to obtain estimates from, is it Mike Cavani that works for you on financing, for paying for it?
He's working on the finance plan.
You need to know the cost of the funds, so that you can equate out a calculation as to what the money will cost you, and everything else. So Semtech is the first step in this process for you. They're your contractors for at least getting that done, and most of that preliminary work.
It's just everything Terry needs in order to get this agreement going. We have our meeting on Wednesday night, we can go on that development agreement.
I would wait to hear from you whether we have a meeting on Wednesday night.
Joyce, you were scheduled to be there Wednesday night, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean, we're all in
I
agreement.
understand.